Good day everyone. Today, I'll present to you a simple project called the Note-Taking Web System, which uses Vue.js for the front end and Laravel API for the back end. First, I will give you an overview of our project, and then I will show you the code and explain it step by step.
Once bitten, twice shy. What goes around comes back around, multiplied by 25. It's written in the sky. No drama, llama, bad karma won't pass you by. No matter how hard you try. So easy does it now go? Look up to the stars, remember when we were chasing cars and breaking burns. Everything was sunshine, good times, nothing but blue skies. Way back when. Nothing but blue skies. Nothing but blue skies. Consider what you've done. Did you mean to hurt yourself or anyone under the sun? So easy does it now go? Look up to the stars, remember when we were chasing cars and breaking burns. Everything was sunshine, good times, nothing but blue skies. Way back when. Look up to the stars, remember how we were stealing cars, but still somehow everything was sunshine, good times, nothing but blue skies. Way back when. Everything was sunshine, good times, nothing but blue skies. Everything was sunshine, good times, nothing but blue skies. Look up to the stars, remember when we were chasing cars and breaking burns. Everything was sunshine, good times, nothing but blue skies. Way back when.
Today, we're going to learn how to create a login system using Vue.js on the front end and Laravel on the back end. First, front end, Vue.js. Introduction to Vue.js for the login interface. First, we'll be using Vue.js to create our login interface. Vue.js is a JavaScript framework that helps us build user interfaces efficiently. In our script, we start by importing some essential functions and libraries. Ref and unmounted are from Vue and help us manage data and actions where our component is created. Actions is used for the making HTTP request. Use router allows us to navigate between different pages. Use user store is a custom store to manage user data. Swal is a library for displaying beautiful alert message. Second, handling user input for email and password. Next, we create reactive variables for the emails, password, and the login button text. These variables will update automatically in the user interface. Third, sending inputs to the backend using actions. We define a function login that we will be called when the user submits the login form. First, this function prevents the default from submission. It changes the button text to logging in to indicate that the login process has started. It sends a POST request to the backend with an email and password. If the login is successful, it stores the token, shows a success message, and redirect to the users to another page. If there's an error, it shows an appropriate error message. Next, fourth, on-mounted hook. Lastly, we clear any existing login tokens when the component is mounted. Backend, Laravel. Now, let's talk about the backend part, where we use Laravel to handle the login requests. First, route definition. We start by defining a route for the login endpoint in Laravel. This route will handle POST requests to log in using the check method in the login controller. Second, login controller. Next, let's look at the login controller. The check method first validates the request to ensure that both email and passwords are provided. It then attempts to authenticate the user with the provided credentials. If the credentials are correct, it generates a token and returns it along with the user information. If the credentials are incorrect, it returns an error message. That's it. We've created a simple yet functional login system using Vue.js for the front end and Laravel for the back end. The front end handles user input, sends login requests, and navigates the user upon success, while the back end verifies the credentials and responds appropriately. Thank you.
So my name is Ibnaro. So today we are going to learn how to create a registration system using a Vue.js on the front end and Laravel on the back end. Let's break it down into two main parts. So the front end and the back end. So front end Vue.js. So introduce to Vue.js for the registration interface. So as a teacher, so we'll start by using Vue.js to create our registration interface. Vue.js is a powerful JavaScript framework for the building user interface. So here's components for Vue.js. The first is import. So import is a library for making HTTP requests. So a library for showing beautiful alert message. Component setup, so data contained are from the data like name, email, password, and the student object. So there are the methods. So div data. So these functions is called when the user submit in the registration form. It is sent the user's data in the backend handles the response. So the second is the handling user input and sending data to the backend. So as a teacher, so in our save data method, we use actions to send a post request to our backend. So if there are the successful registration, so if the registration is successfully, we show the success message using sweet alert number 2. If the failed registration, so if there are an error, so we show an error message. So there are the backend Laravel. Now, now let's move on the backend where we use Laravel to handle the registration request. So there are the route definition. We define a route for the registration endpoint, and the route will handle post request to register using the store method in the register controller. So register controller. So next, let's look at the register controller. So store method. So there are the data retrieval. Data retrieval, we get all the input data from the request. And the user creations, we create a new user with a provide name email, and the hash per password. Response, we return JSON response indicate the registration was successfully. So that it we create a simple yet functional registrar system using Vue.js for the front end and Laravel from the back end. The front end collects user input and sends into the back end, which then the process the registration and response accordingly. So that's all.
So let's explain the code. So um, this script provides a step-by-step guide on how to integrate Vue.js with the Laravel backend for managing nodes. So we'll cover how to fetch, search, create, update, and delete nodes, as well as handling authentication. So first is import dependencies. So in import dependencies, we have the Axios, import Axios, library for making HTTP requests, reactive ref, unmounted Vue.js composition API functions for reactivity and lifecycle hooks, and user store, a function to access the user store like for managing user authentication state, and also the swal or suite alert. So in the export default data, define the component's reactive state. So nodes array to hold nodes, fetch from the server, search query, edit node data, my store, is drop down open, current page, and unmounted. So fetching nodes, get nodes, fetch nodes from the server, send a get request to the backend with pagination parameters, page and per page, includes an authorization header with user's token, update the nodes array and total pages based on the response, and handle errors showing alerts for unauthorized access or general failures. And the search for nodes based on the user's query. If the search query is not empty, sends a get request to search nodes. Update the nodes array with search result. Handles error showing an alert if the search fails. If the search query is empty, it calls get nodes to fetch all nodes. And the edit node. This is the code for editing node. So edit node, set the edit node data with selected nodes data, and submit edit sends a put request to the update the node. Update the node in the nodes array if the response is successful. Clears edit node data and shows a success alert. Handles error showing if an alert if the update fails. And the delete node. So delete node shows an confirmation dialog using suite alert. If confirmed, sends a delete request to delete the node. Remove the nodes from the nodes if array if successful, shows a success alert or an error alert based on the result, and last is the logout functionality. In the logout, shows a confirmation dialog using suite alert. If confirmed based on search, or if confirmed since a post request to log out the user, removes the token from the local storage and updates the user store, redirects the user to the login page and shows a success alert. And let's also explain the backend, which we use Laravel. Um, so these are the routes. So defines the routes for node management, protected by the auth sanctum. This is an Laravel library for authentication. Store to create a new node. Index to fetch the nodes from the node controller. Search to search nodes. Update to update a node. Destroy to delete. And log out to log out the user. So in the node controller, this is the node controller code. Yeah. Store validates and creates a new node for the authenticated user. So this, if we create a node, we input title and content, create a node. Also, it has a user ID. So index, fetch, store, validates and creates a node for the authenticated user. Show, fetch a single node by its ID for the authenticated user. Search, search nodes by title or content for the authenticated user. Update, update the node by its ID for the authenticated user. And the destroy, which is deleting the node. So that's it. So this integration allows user to manage their nodes with features like fetching, searching, creating, updating, deleting, with authentication managed by Laravel Sanctum. Also, this is the database for the nodes. We have the ID, the user ID, title, and the content. And the table users.